PAL.
POW.
PAL. NTSC. I thought we were in NTSC country.
Oh, POW. POW. P.O.W.
POW. Oh.
As in, like, you know,
POW.
I'm Stan Lee, and I approve this POW.
That was your...
Is that cats or ice makers?
Ice maker.
Oh. Maybe it's the cats.
It's
in
a
the
cat
ice
maker. Hey, look, we're live. I can see
cool.
it.
We're on the internet.
You got an X-Men shirt on. I
Look,
can
it's
see it.
me.
I see it right there on the internet.
I have an industry shirt on. I'm sorry.
I have a red
Polo.
collared shirt.
It's a cardigan, but thanks for asking.
Well, the ice maker's loud. Good evening, Robert Connolly.
Hi, Bob.
Good evening, Robert Connolly.
Thank you for showing up,
Good evening.
Robert Connolly.
So glad you could join us today.
Robert Connolly, what is your military rank today?
My
You
rank,
may decide your own.
my rank is dank. Yeah. My rank is dank meme. Dank meme.
Dank Mame. Supreme Admiral Robert Connolly. God damn, that sounds good. Well done.
You know your last name's an adverb.
It is?
This man Connells. He's Connell. He Robert's Connolly.
He's does things like a Connell.
Yeah. Well, we supremely admire you, Robert Connolly, for being here. Thank you. I have an email that says we are live.
Oh, do you?
I do.
I did not get a notice that said we're live. I just happened to be on the website,
That's a good place to be.
youtube.com/BMFcast. And I was like, hey, look, there is a live video. I did see earlier it said, Chuck is broadcasting on Twitch. And I was like,
God
that
damn it, Chuck.
son of a bitch. But he is not streaming now. So
Okay.
we don't have to go to his house and burn it down.
Why? For competition, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we liked healthy competition
Not.
No.
as America.
No.
No.
Oh.
No,
we
we're-
want a monopoly.
Oh,
No one else should
I'm-
be live streaming right now,
I'm-
especially
terribly sorry.
We want every you
Traitors.
on the internet.
Right. I'm realizing I'm not sure I'm good at being an American. I mean, I don't have much of a choice, but
being an American is very different than it was 20 years ago.
okay.
Actually, I should say 25 years ago.
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it's like, you know, the police in this country are constantly complaining about, like, you know, how unruly the citizenship is, and it's like,
Bitch, we could be worse.
do you know what country I mean,
Yeah.
do you know our history? We don't tolerate leadership very well. I mean, it's kind of our whole shtick, and so, like, when you're complaining
We
about
started an entire country because we didn't want to pay taxes.
right, yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird that, like, all of our entertainment and stuff, especially like things that are meant to appeal to the so-called right wing, who are like, play by the book, America, 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 or like almost everything is like about somebody breaking the rules.
Yeah.
It's a cop who doesn't play by the rules. He's gonna do things his own way, and it's just like. But then you turn around and it's like, that guy acted out of line, fire him immediately. You know, it's just like, okay, all right. It's very weird. It's just a, you know, ludonarrative dissonance.
Well, and we've also
Bringing that
just
back.
like we've destroyed the terms liberty and patriot. Now they basically are just synonymous with being an asshole.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
sure.
you know,
Sure.
which really isn't what they should be, but you know,
Right.
some people that have vehemently claimed them
Yeah.
are kind of
I feel
assholes.
like liberty
about
might
it.
have been, you know, smudged a bit in the past.
Yeah.
With, you know, liberty or
I mean,
death
liberty
guy.
now just means like I
Same,
can never
it's
be
like-
inconvenienced by anything or made uncomfortable,
Oh,
or it is infringed on my God-given rights.
right.
I'm also not allowed
And-
to be uncomfortable.
Also, fuck your rights if it infringes on my being comfortable.
Right.
So it's shitty. It's shitty. It's unfortunate.
I didn't intend to start this with a political debate.
Yeah,
I was just like, it's something that just popped in my head recently. Of like, and
Well-
this movie's kind of like it's similar, but then it veers back very hard into this is what we do, military thing. Like tonight's movie. I'm trying to make it this relevant, but
yeah.
just saying, like, this one starts with like hey, we got to be rebellious and go against orders and stuff, and then it just falls very much onto the track of like, yep, this is patriotism pouring right here.
Yeah, it's also framed, but
It's
it's
a
also
canon
like
movie.
framed a little bit differently than
Yeah,
what we would call freedom porn now.
I suppose we should say that this is all germane to the,
It is.
American to the,
Mm-hmm.
not German.
What is this?
It's very Tito. It's very Michael. It's not germane.
So what's
I
your
can't name any other.
made up military rank?
Oh, phew.
Freak out ensign.
Coxswain's mate.
Hey, that's pretty good. I mean,
Seaman.
That's an actual rank.
Lord Seaman.
Lord of the Seamen. Okay.
I want to be a viceroy, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be more than just that. Like, I mean, I don't know what a viceroy does exactly, but it just sounds cool.
Oh, I want to be a Grand Vizier.
Ooh, Grand Vizier. That's not really a military rank, but I
Yeah.
do allow it.
Yeah.
Because
Thanks.
it's fucking cool.
Because
Yeah.
we're making up ranks anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's more like an advisor, but we'll allow it.
Yeah.
They can,
Yeah.
they can affect.
But
they
I
can
mean, you
affect,
could be an
that's with A.
advisor, or you could be a vizier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going to be a Grand Vizier, of
Yeah.
course.
They can't
Or Grand
necessarily.
Vizier.
They
Keep
can't
saying it
necessarily
differently.
effect change, but they can affect change.
Welcome, Generalissimo Garcia. It is wonderful to see you, sir. Salute. How about Brigadier Viceroy?
Bienvenidos, Generalissimo Garcia. Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Ultimate
Or
Viceroy.
¿Cómo está? If you want to go. Is that Portuguese? I don't know.
Well, you got Grand Vizier, so Grand
All right.
Viceroy would be in poor
Yeah, it's
taste.
a little. It's too close. And also, like, Lord Viceroy just doesn't really work. It's like, that sounds wrong.
Unchallenged Viceroy. Robert's already got Supreme.
I mean, I would always want to be a lieutenant.
You could be a Right Tenant,
Oh,
Tenant
Right
Viceroy.
Tenant, yeah, Right Tenant Viceroy. I like that, yeah. I'll be a David Tennant Viceroy.
I think I will take Infernal Commander.
All right. You can be in charge of all things infernal.
Hell yeah. All right. Nice one, Matthew. We got jokes. We got jokes. I like them. So I'm sorry I missed you all last episode. Not you guys.
Wait, you
but-
were here?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Oh, wow.
That's hard to.
Who's that other guy?
I don't know. Some imposter. He sat in the wrong chair. He had the wrong face. All I know is it wasn't me.
All right, Shaggy. Like, it wasn't me.
I don't know.
Like, she caught me in the
It was fun
on
having
the
Chuck
kitchen counter.
I liked hanging out with Chuck.
I'm honestly I'm sad that I missed Chuck
Yeah.
being here. I'm sad that it took me going away for Chuck to come back, but
Well, he was going to when I went away, but then
yeah.
the AC broke.
Rope.
Done broke.
Yeah, the AC went DC.
Mm-hmm.
As in disconnected.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nice and temperate in here now.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's very comfortable. I like it.
It's, you know what? It's podcast weather. In fact,
It is.
I say-
podcast weather.
I vote let's do a podcast.
I don't know. I did one like a month ago.
Let's do it.
Okay, fine. Fine.
All right.
In the
Fine.
road.
Fine. You
All right.
convinced me.
The eyes have it.
God, I still can't get over your fucking intro, which everyone will hear when they hear the official episode.
It's good. You guys should actually listen to
It
the
made
episode.
me laugh and say, "God damn it!"
That's all I'm going for, really.
Yep.
Indeed. Just making sure all digestive pyrotechnics are at bay.
Gurgle,
At,
gurgle.
at Michael Bay. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
We are Pentium
that.
powered because it's episode 586.
Was it
Yeah,
586?
that's an old person joke.
Yeah.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
And what we old people do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it. Then at the end, they get ratings. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. I can speak. They get rating 1 to 5 jocks as robot jocks.
We enjoyed Robot Jocks a great deal.
I liked it a lot.
See, robot jocks is the standard by which bad movies, quote-unquote bad movies, should be judged.
Right.
But however,
in our opinion.
there are actual bad movies. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in giant bags of trash.
As in, stay away
Yeah.
because
Chuck 'em
they
in there.
smell.
They're not worth your time.
They're not.
According to us, anyway. So, much like last week, we haven't left the year that we were in last week. 1986 delivers again, this time with P.O.W., The Escape.
Pow, the escape.
Yeah. Pal the Escape song. I mean,
It's a canon joint.
uh-huh.
Golden Globus.
Mm-hmm. David
Or sort of-
Carradine,
Yeah, David Carradine, a decorated BMFcast alum.
Esteban Jamez, or Steve James, as you know him.
Yes.
Oh, Jaime.
Yeah. Steve
Esteb-
James
Esteban
on,
Jaime.
on our Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The centerpiece of our shirt, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. When a man stands toe to toe with a giant robot on our shirt.
That's how you know he's a man's man.
Yeah.
There's only 2 things on Mount Rushmore. It's Steve James and a robot.
And a robot jocks. Robot. A mecha. I don't know what it would be, actually.
A robot.
It's a mecha.
Well, it's not a
it's
robot
mecha
because
to
it's
mechas.
not piloting itself.
It is a
A
robot.
man is piloting it.
The movie's name is Robot Jocks. It is a
Yes.
robot that is joxed. I believe Tex even calls it a robot.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, that would be inaccurate, but yes. Okay, we'll allow
Either
it.
way.
I mean, inaccurate in some worlds, but in
there.
the Robot Jocks world,
Ah.
it is a robot.
And now I want to play Armored Core 6.
Well, you can do that when you get home after
I
this
will.
podcast.
Okay.
No, I'm getting up and I'm leaving now. So, yeah, P.O.W., The Escape, made in 1986, canon movie. Can you guess the setting of this movie? Made in 1986 by the Canon Group, called P.O.W., The Escape.
The setting or where it was filmed?
You probably know both.
I do.
They are different areas.
They are.
What's the setting?
Viet fucking Nam.
Oh, you mean the shit?
The shit. Yes.
Yes, the shit TM
Yeah.
or circle R. I don't know what it gets.
Where would this have been filmed?
The Philippines.
Wow.
Like probably most Vietnam movies.
Yes. Because 1980, man,
You could do anything you wanted
There's-
in the Philippines in 1986 if you were filming a movie, I think.
it sure feels like it. But there was a point in the movie where we're just like, man, it must have been easy to get guys who were in Vietnam in the 80s to like do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's
especially-
a helicopter shot early on where we're like, man, choppers.
Yeah, they do I mean, the very beginning of the movie is David Carradine being fed up because, it's 1973 and the war's, the ceasefire, whatever, never really a war, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The ceasefire is going into effect, and it's basically you have one last chance. You have 5 days. Yeah, 5 days before the ceasefire, and then we're not going to be able to get POWs out of here. They're going to be classified as MIA.
And they're going to vanish.
Yeah. So, here you are, David Carradine, we know of this one camp, go in and get him. So, I mean, it's just jump right to where, I mean, he protests for like half a second of like this going in hard is probably going to get guys killed that are in the camp. Not a bad, thing to bring up, but then he's pretty much just like, all right, I'm on board. And things are going to be like this for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And we're rapidly introduced to Teague, who is a 19-year-old not recruit, but he's fresh.
He's just the guy that like
He's fresh meat for the nom grinder.
For whatever reason, David Carradine's like, "What's your name, kid?" Because he's praying to a crucifix, and he's like, "You send a little my way" or something like that. And
Put in a good word for
they're friends now.
Yeah, but it's also they're driving up on the Jeep, and he's like, "This guy Cooper, David Carradine." It's like, why are they sending him on this? And the guy's like, "You should be thankful for they're sending him on this because." His motto is he never leaves a man behind. Everybody comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Which will come up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, maybe we could discuss the ethics and the morality involved in that. But
yeah,
it does kind of make movies like Saving Private Ryan feel sort of silly if you think about him for a second.
At least in Saving Private Ryan, it is acknowledged multiple times
that
this is really stupid.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This movie, not so much.
No, not really.
The one guy who kind of disagrees with whatever David Carradine is doing is presented as the wild card, who's also just a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's just blank antagonist. I mean, it's just like whatever you need him to do something that's antagonistic, he'll do it.
He is the personification of, in all the Back to the Future sequels, whenever anyone calls Marty a chicken. Something, we need conflict, it needs to happen somehow. This guy's just going to do it. Because reasons.
Yeah. So, I mean, they go in guns a-blazing, and this is where we get some of our helicopter stunting that, I mean, they do some strafing runs, which, helicopter strafing runs are kind of crazy because you come in, like, over the canopy of the tree line, and then you, like, dive down, like, really fast, and, like, inches from the fucking ground, and then, like, start firing missiles and shit.
I mean, there's a shot where there are 4 choppers in a row, and they're probably at maybe 15 feet off of this river, and they're following the river itself with, you've got a canopy on either side.
Yep.
And these guys are just kind of winding their way through one chopper after the other. And it's just like one of those things. It's like when you think about the logistics of actually flying that, you're like, holy shit, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like that, these guys, I mean, obviously these guys know what the fuck they're doing.
So one of my family friends growing up, he was a medevac chopper pilot in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
He also ended up being an air traffic controller, which is like, okay, yeah, you've already
this
had
man
the most
likes stress.
You've already had the most stressful job on earth, so you go for the
he's
second
probably
most
just sitting
stressful.
on there, like almost falling asleep because it's like this is so easy. Yeah.
Pretty much, he never complained about his job.
Yeah, sure.
But like, that's all those guys did was fly that kind of shit, and there were a ton of them, the ones who lived, and they became like they did things like. What do you call them? Air rescue choppers, life flight chopper pilots, and pilots for movies and shit. They had like 3 or 4 career paths aside from air traffic controller, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, tons of those guys ended up doing stuff like this. And I mean, they're flying Hueys. It's what they're used to. They're fucking good at it.
Yeah,
these guys are
just like
it's insane.
It's like this for a movie. This isn't like.
Right.
Got to get in there and save these guys, like actual literal stuff. You know, this is like, we're making a movie about this dumb shit.
But I mean, at the same time, as you were saying, this is probably things they've done 100 times, and this time they're not being shot at. So I mean, it's like this is probably pretty easy.
Oh, those explosions aren't trying to kill me? Cool. Yeah. I'll be taking a nap. Let me know when you need something.
Yeah, I also wonder how many of these guys like got their PTSD reactivated by doing some of this shit for Golden Globus.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully none.
Hopefully they were like, "No, this is awesome. I love doing it." So whatever. But it's just like the '80s, man.
It was a different time.
It really was, and I mean, I know there's been plenty written about basically like, let's just redo Vietnam in every movie because we lost. And like reasoning with that and being like, America's still the best and we're awesome. And it's like, yeah, but, and then like just basically all these movies that are just like, let's just go back and do it right this time in the movie.
Oh, I mean,
obviously Rambo 2 being like the biggest, what the shit, man.
I hate to say it, but I mean, we are serious. I mean, I feel like we're veering out of podcast territory now, but I feel like I feel like we're in serious jeopardy of at some point history being corrupted because like, movies and stuff are going to be how people think things were at some point in time. I mean, it feels like that's
They
the way
become
we're
the
going.
document
They
of
become
record.
like almost like a documentary, and I feel like people aren't going to realize what actually happened in Vietnam unless they watch some of the later movies that are more truthful about it. But
Yeah, like Operation Dumbo Drop.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. That I wasn't.
That was your
I wasn't thinking like The Quiet American or anything like that. I was definitely thinking of Operation Dumbo Trap, the true tales of Vietnam. Yeah.
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 I mean, it had Dennis Leary. He was a guy who could get what you needed,
Mm-hmm.
but he still had to go on the mission
That's true.
and get yelled at by Ray Liotta.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
These things are all true. Yeah.
yeah, but they go on the mission, and
It goes badly.
it's a stunt spectacular in the beginning, but it's also them just running around shooting at nothing, and it's one of those cases where we're watching it going, is this just bad filmmaking, or is there nobody in this camp?
Yeah, I mean it goes on a little too long for the explanation that we're given that it is a vacant camp and a booby trap.
Yeah.
But because I mean, you would think you were like, a couple shots fired of like, wait, like not
Yeah,
5
I mean,
prolonged minutes of shooting at nothing.
yeah, I mean they have the choppers take out all the towers, take out all the buildings, but the cage in the middle. Guys, they land, storm the place, are just shooting up everything, and then it's just like they haven't killed anybody, or at least none. No, we have not seen a body.
Yeah, the gunfire starts slowing down until like one guy like bursts into a hut and he's just like, "There's literally nothing here," and he kind of comes out and looks at David Carradine like, "Bro," and he's like, "Yeah, I know," and cease fire.
Yeah.
And it still takes them like 2 minutes to stop firing because the guys are just like, "I came here to kill something today."
But it's also classic '80s like firing from the hip.
Oh yeah.
Or just nobody looks down. I think the only time anyone looks down sights is when David Carradine has to precisely shoot something to blow it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this entire movie, there are dudes who are just like not shooting at the sky, but like shooting just above the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
Just dumb shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like I was watching the scene and I couldn't help but think of the. I mean, I know it's more supposed to be a direct parody to Rambo, but like the cross between like what's in UHF and Hot Shots 2, like when he's just sidearming the dual M16s and like the kill count is like going up on Hot Shots 2, but he's just not aiming at anything. And
Yeah.
because there's a couple times where David Carradine will just pop out of something. I mean, later when there's actually guys to shoot at, unlike this empty camp, and just with no cover, just hit 7 of them perfectly. The perfect one-man army, like bang, 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 bang. It's like, sure.
He's playing Call of Duty on Veteran.
Right. Somehow avoiding the spamming of grenades.
Yep.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's an ambush, obviously, and it gets Teague shot.
I think it's basically everybody shot. I think like one helicopter takes off with the people, and then everybody else waits around for David Carradine.
Yeah, there's a second helicopter
back
where
for
all the
Teague.
guys get to it, and he's like, "Where's Teague?" And goes back in. And I mean, this is a camp that's just now swarming with dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes in to get the one guy who clearly has been shot multiple times.
Right.
And as he's carrying him out, somebody just lines up a bazooka and farewell to that chopper.
Yeah.
That bazooka got to that chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to save that one guy, he sacrificed all the lives of the other guys.
Yeah, and he didn't
And then
seem
that
to be in a big
guy-
hurry getting back with the guy. I mean, I know he's carrying a guy on his back, but like, he was not.
But
hurrying.
also-
I know
There's
he's
a
also-
lot of like, man, why couldn't you just park the chopper closer
You only get that
type
too.
scenes?
And also, like, none of those dudes in the chopper were laying down any covering fire.
No.
They're just waving, sitting there.
They're like the dad at the finish line, like, come on, man, you can make it.
Yep,
Let's do
yep.
this. And
Help them.
yeah, like at least hop down. Somebody take Teague from him.
Right. Maybe
Anything.
somebody else could do a shoot in the direction of the enemy, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Oh, well.
I mean, yeah, covering fire is usually a good idea when you're running through a marsh that's
Yes.
wide open. But no, the chopper gets blown up. All his guys die.
Teague's dead anyway.
Yeah, he runs into somehow he gets into the jungle.
Right.
And this is another thing that this movie does a lot is it's just suddenly like, all right, here we are. And you're like, wait, how did we get from point A to point
Yeah.
B.
How did you escape the entire battalion of VC that were
Yeah.
charging in on you?
Because suddenly he's just in the middle of the forest, still got Teague on his shoulder. And it eventually gets to the point where he's like, Teague. And it's like, no answer. And drops him down. And it's like, yeah, the dude got shot enough times. He bled out.
Mm-hmm.
He's done. And then immediately the Viet Cong is on him. And he is now a POW.
Pow.
Prisoner of war. For those not into acronyms.
Yeah, not the thing in Mario Brothers that knocks out everybody on the screen. Yeah.
Or the way of the fist.
Right.
But yeah, he's now captured. And this is when we're introduced to...
Steve James.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
okay,
first,
yeah.
Vin, who is played by Mako, who runs the camp. And he's the guy in charge of the camp. And this is where you're like, okay, so this is going to be one of those... They're going to be tortured by this guy. This guy's going to be a dick to them for, the next act of the movie. And eventually they're going to have some kind of way of breaking out, and they're going to kill him in a gruesome way to get their revenge. And
Yeah.
that's going to be, you're thinking like your Great Escape type stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be the Great Escape, but in Vietnam instead of World War II.
Absolutely not.
No?
It's really like...
They even bring in the same motorcycle just to fuck with us at some point in time.
Yeah, and we're like, where it goes is just very bizarre. And it's also, there's a point where we should mention that they had 4 screenwriters on this movie.
And they all wrote an individual movie that happens during this movie.
And they didn't throw out any of their ideas. No. They're like, no, that sounds great. We're using that too. Because they...
A brainy gremlin? It's in the movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Vin is basically like, as soon as he's caught Cooper, they're like they radio into him. They're like, you have the highest ranking American POW.
Right.
You're turning him into us because we're going to fucking put him on trial and execute him. And so here Vin realizes this is his bargaining chip to get a trip to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been stealing gold and jewelry and some other gold, I guess, from POWs. And so he's going to use Cooper plus his gold to buy his way to America.
Yeah, he's got various jewelry, but I don't know if the gold bars are like if he's an amateur smelter and this is like other gold he's gotten before, or
They
if it's
said he got it off one of the spies somehow.
Sure.
Okay. It looked crudely melted down, so perhaps he was a goldsmith. Not the Odyssey kind, but the Vietnam kind.
Yeah, he's definitely not a Jerry. It's the wrong war again.
Yeah.
But I mean he's
Charlie
basically pulling a Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards at the end, where it's just like
Pretty much,
war's over. I'm getting mine, and I'm going to the U.S. Let's work this out. Like that's his angle.
Also, the Paris Peace Treaty, or the Paris peace talks are going on around right now. So, like, the war is right about to end.
Yeah, they're basically like, somehow they know there's only like 5 days. Well, the colonel in the beginning says 5 days. I don't know if Vin is aware of that, but I figure he must be, because he knows
he mentions it.
Yeah, it's time to go. And so it's like, suddenly we don't really have necessarily an antagonist. Because it's like, it's not like he and Cooper are getting along, because Cooper's reticence to go, Cooper's going against this plan is because the deal is just for him, and he's like, no, all the guys are coming or I'm not going. Right. And so that is the point of conflict. But it's more like Vin's like, I don't want to kill anybody. I just want to get out of here, and you're my ticket to do it.
Yeah, and there's like half a second because Sparks, which is the internal antagonist, not the external antagonist, and another random guy decide to make a break for it.
Yeah, well let's jump back.
Okay.
We got a bunch of POWs there. Among them,
Steve James.
the fucking man, Steve James.
Yes.
And then Sparks, who's basically the Charlie Day wild card of this group. Yeah, and there's like 6 or 7 other guys, maybe.
Yeah.
And they've been there a while. There's one guy who's just been in the pit, which is, this is one of those camps that's set up like where it's all built on top of water. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the cage is in the water, and the guy is basically, his head is above water, and that's how he has to live.
Yeah, I mean, the normal cage is like only partially submerged.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a great living condition, but it's not
No.
fully in the water.
Yeah, but Sparks is just immediately, whatever you guys are doing, that's stupid. Fuck all y'all. As soon as they put Cooper in, he's like ready to fight Cooper.
Oh, he does fight him. I mean, he
Yeah.
comes at him with fists for some reason right off the bat. But then eventually...
Because he basically tells him, like, no,
Yeah.
here's what we're going to do. Because as soon as Cooper walks in, he's like, all right, who's the head of the escape committee? And Steve James is like, we kind of don't have one. And he's like,
well,
fine.
I am now, yeah.
Here's how we're going to do this. And you're
the
like,
guy-
okay.
Yeah, the other guy's like, I'm already getting out tonight. Fuck you. And
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you. He's like, we should do this all together. He's like, nope. Me and Joe over here are leaving, and we're gonna take Stub Toe Charlie over here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's one guy in the cage.
Steve.
Is Steve the guy in the cage? Okay.
Steve is the guy in the cage.
He just perpetually has like a stub toe. He does not seem to be.
He had something wrong with his leg.
There's like he's got a little bit of black on his foot. I mean, like where it looks like he just like comically had some like gunpowder misfire, like
Right, cartoon gunpowder.
cartoon. But I'm just saying, like he's constantly like my leg, I can't walk.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look that bad though. I'm just saying it's.
Yeah, it is odd because David Carradine gets to fight him and use some of his kung fu moves on him. Poorly. It is a very slow motion fight. Like, David Carradine seems like he's having trouble moving around during this fight.
Yeah, it's not great.
It is not great at
He
all.
may have been slightly out of breath.
Yeah, but he beats the hell out of him. Either way, story wise at least.
Yeah.
And then that's when Sparks Wildcard is just like, nah, fuck you, I'm leaving anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells the other guy, you need to watch your back because he's not gonna. Something goes wrong, he's not gonna be there for you. But strangely, Sparks is like obsessed with getting Steve out. And then they get to the cage, and Steve's like,
Yeah, can't
I
walk.
can't run. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. He's like, all right, man, your fucking funeral later.
Yeah, and then they have a really long, like, we're going to sneak under the bamboo bridges while the guards and stuff. Like, it's this prolonged, like, oh no, the guards are right here, and then they're leading, David Carradine away.
Yeah.
And then cut to those guys are just, they've made it out of the camp and they're full bore sprinting
And
in
it's
the
in the
jungle.
day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, that's one of those, like, jump to, oh, I guess they got out, and they're, running, except I think it's Sparks runs through, like, the trap, and then it springs for the guy behind him because, like, one of those bamboo spike things hits him in the chest. And Sparks just looks back and is like, well, smell you later.
Yeah, it's like a pallet covered in spikes.
Yeah.
And it just tags this guy, and we're like, oh, dude, that guy got fucking
And
wrecked.
he seriously, like, looks back for, like, half a second and is just like, oh, well.
Yeah, and runs.
Which is weird because, like, his motivation of, like, caring is very strange. He seemed to have concern for this guy and the guy who stubbed his toe, Steve or whatever. Not Steve James, the character Steve.
Yeah.
Because Steve James is actually Lee, I believe.
Yes.
Lee Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they call him Lee at some points and Johnson at other points. But anyway, but he seems to care about these guys probably because they're in his unit or whatever. But then, like I said, this guy gets hit with the bamboo spikes and he's just like,
I think it's because
Whatever.
they were guys he could bully around. Guys he could boss around.
Sure.
That seems pretty plausible.
Yeah. But the one guy is like, Sparks! And he just takes off.
and then Vin drags him back to camp in a truck covered up.
Yeah.
Like unveils the cover. I
Yeah,
guess the cover of the
guys
prisoners.
know something is weird
Yeah.
because they've been there long enough. They know the schedule. They're like, the truck isn't due for another day. What's going on?
I guess they had the prisoners covered up like a bird so they could sleep or something
Yeah.
because they uncover the prisoners and then they're just like unwhip the truck and he's still impaled on the bamboo thing and they're just like see and then they shoot him in front of everybody.
I was surprised that he was still alive.
I was too, because that man got spiked a bunch.
He did.
in the chest and upper body area.
Like a goddamn pincushion.
Again, it's probably fine once you remove the spikes. That's when the problem.
I don't
happens.
think it's fine.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think it's fine.
I think it probably hurts a lot.
I mean, it probably hurts a lot, yeah. But I mean,
And
like,
if it has penetrated one's lung or heart,
perhaps
that could be an
it
issue.
could be an issue.
Or
yes.
or one's bowels.
Yeah.
It seemed high enough to not
He
not
was
disembowel the
he
man.
got spiked a lot.
Yeah,
He
there's-
did get spiked pretty hard.
yeah, like a lemonade.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, so he's dead.
yes, he's dead, and this is like for half a second they're like, we're gonna keep killing these guys because they catch Sparks like 2 seconds later anyway. Doesn't he? Or he goes and tries to have sex with a hooker. No, that's
No,
Oh, that's way later.
he
Yeah,
just
that's way
runs
later.
into a bunch of kids and
Yeah.
tries to hide it in a rice paddy, and the kids are like,
dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dumb motherfucker.
and then he talks some shit at the kid, and then the next thing we see
Is
is
he's captured again?
yeah, he's captured, and
Yeah, and he, Ben threatens to shoot him too, and still like David Carradine's like all or nothing.
yeah, and it is weird because he says for a guy Sparks who has been so vehemently against helping anyone else, he goes, "Don't you make any fucking deals with him, Cooper."
over me or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
and
I don't
and
know.
we're like, okay, yeah,
This
good.
movie has-
shoot him because this guy's really annoying.
weird, like wavering moralities constantly, or
Well, and it's
Just-
also
yeah.
just Sparks, like, we've talked about situational awareness in characters, where you're just like completely losing track of like, no, there's like present danger here, but oh, look, shiny thing, I need to deal with. I need this right now. This is more important, and it's like, no, dying is more. Not dying is more important than picking up a piece of gold.
Yeah.
Like.
In a better movie, this would be Sparks like grappling with his morality for the entirety of the
Yeah.
time. In this one, it's just he seems inconsistent
Yeah.
and generally shitty for a while until he's not. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But I mean, like, but this part seems weird. Like, it seems almost against character for
Yeah.
him to be like, "Don't you give him anything?" And it's like,
Like I said,
no. The way this guy has been portrayed, he should be like, "Dude, help me, Cooper!
Yeah.
Don't let them kill me." That sort of shit.
I hate that this.
I
Popped
didn't
in
think
my
it was
head.
the same
Oh.
character.
Yeah.
I hate that this popped in my head, but it just did. I feel like someone was extremely shittily, and that's not a word, but trying to do the good and the bad and the ugly. Sort of. I mean, like, if you
Yeah,
think
I
about
mean-
it, it's like you've got David Carradine, you got Vin, and you got him. It's sort of like you've got that dynamic. It
Yeah.
just doesn't. None of it plays out in any way similar to
Well-
a good movie like that. But
And Eli Wallach is he's shitty, but he's charismatic and likable.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad version of that. But I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying
No,
amongst
I get what you're
amongst
saying.
the four screenwriters, maybe that was somebody's intention to rip that movie off.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't work.
No.
But what happens is Vin shoots. He's taking aim at him with his pistol, and then he shoots the rope above him. Says, "You win, Cooper." And then that's when they decide they're leaving. He's packing them all up. He's going to put them all. They put them all in the back of their water truck.
Or was that or gas? I mean, either way, it
I
was.
wasn't sure which it should be.
It was not a. It was a weird cover vehicle.
liquid truck.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
was.
I
It
mean,
was
it's
full
a
of holes.
tanker truck.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it was never going to be completely full of liquid
Yeah.
anyway, even for guard's sake. But
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's why they used that one because it was already shitty.
Okay.
Yeah, but so all the dudes are packed in there, and I guess Vin's soldiers are in on part of this.
They seem to have come along. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's very little anything personality given to any of them. They're just kind of there.
Vin soldiers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all just they're all just the bad guys.
And it's also just like they're all just following whatever he tells them to do, and it's like here he is straight up betraying his country.
Right.
And
It's
they're
also
all just kind of along for the ride. They're like, oh, okay.
it's also entirely possible that they just like
They figure they're part of the deal.
well, or they just figure like, all right, well, this is our commanding officer. We listen to what he tells us. We just do what he says.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's just again, it's like what is these characters' motivation for any of this? But
Yeah.
and they're along for it because they get to a checkpoint and another like a corporal or somebody's like, "So, who's the American?" And he's like, "He's a high-ranking prisoner. Taking him to Hanoi. Let me go." And so he spends his time inspecting the vehicle, inspecting everything, and then eventually comes around and he's just like, "Can we go now?" And he's like, "No. Step out of the vehicle. I'm inspecting everything." Hanoi is the other direction.
Yep.
And then Vin just goes, "All right, fuck it." Shoots him, and he's like, "Go, go, 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 go." And his guys are like, okay, we're doing this.
They're along with it for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this starts a chase where they impotently shoot missiles at them.
They do. They shoot yeah, it's a bunch of I thought it was mortars, but that was
In the beginning.
In the beginning,
scene.
yeah.
But yeah, they're just shooting these rockets, and again, like nobody aims any weapons in this movie.
Well, this is like, I mean, I'm sure this was this had to be based on some sort of real vehicle. I've never known the name of them, but I mean, like, this was a GI Joe vehicle, like, you know, tons of tiny little missiles.
Yeah, what they call it, a SAM.
I mean,
No,
the SAM is a surface air
air,
missile.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
But that's what they all seem to be like.
It's just like
they're
it's
all
a rocket battery. of
yeah,
some
it's
sort.
that tic-tac-toe thing of that the just grid of rockets.
I mean, this one plays out like it's just, you know, a bottle rocket launcher because I mean,
Yeah.
Just about.
yeah, but
Except when it needs to be,
Sure.
and it blows a hole in the bridge.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, they get trapped at a bridge and then basically sort of decide to hide under the remnants of the bridge.
Yeah.
And
They
chaos
use it
just
for
happens.
cover
Yeah.
so that they can get all the guys out.
It just ends up they're here for a very like way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those action scenes that just doesn't make sense.
No, they're just being like randomly bombed, but everyone's like, well, let's just take our time, and because Sparks ends up like on one of the jeeps that's like stuck up top. Finds the gold as he's supposed to be starting the jeep up and getting it out of there or something. I don't even know if that was in order, if he was just like, sweet, I'm going to take this jeep and get the fuck out of here and leave these out.
No, the Vin told him to
Okay.
go get the get that.
But he
jeep or
spots
would
the
kill him.
gold, so now he's like, oh, I want the gold and I don't care about the battle going on.
Yeah.
But they end up unsticking the jeep and then driving it under the bridge. A whole bunch more bullshit happens.
Well, yeah. Well, it's basically the three of them again. It's Vin, Cooper, and Sparks.
Right.
And Cooper and Sparks are in the Jeep, and Vin is coming up the hill, yelling at them. He's like, "We had a deal. What are we doing?"
Right.
And he gets kind of blown up, or at least he gets launched into the air from a rocket hitting behind him.
Yeah.
Knocks him out, and then Cooper stops Sparks from shooting him because he's just like, "We don't shoot wounded guys."
Sure.
This will come back to bite them because, of course, it
We
will.
only napalm children.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
welcome
Welcome to Vietnam. Yeah.
This is
It's Vietnam talk.
this
You're
is
gonna
an
hear that kind of
80s
stuff.
version of
I mean,
Vietnam.
sorry.
Yeah, I know. Hey, don't bring facts into this shit.
Terribly sorry.
Yeah, but so they take off, and then it's Vin has told his guys, shoot them if I don't come back, and they come back. They're like, Vin, he's just taking a nap. And then he gives kind of like a little sign to Steve James, and this starts another fight.
Tell Steve to steal third. Yeah.
Yeah, and and they're able to overtake all the guards that were with them. And at some point, Sparks grabs an assault rifle, an Armalite, and shoots a dude. You know, he shoots one of the guards, but then he shoots Steve behind him. Like, clearly he's already killed the guy, and then he just immediately double taps Steve right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because he's bad at shooting or if he's actually trying to kill Steve.
No, I think he's just bad, but it's like there's a pause between when he shoots him and then when he shoots the other guy, and you're like, okay. But yeah, he realizes he's done this, and then from this point, he just fucking takes off, doesn't he?
Are you talking about Sparks? Yeah.
Well, yeah. They all leave. They all get up there.
Well, yeah. He jumps in the Jeep, still assuming the gold's in there, and then because his idea was we can jump the remnants of the bridge. I mean, the bridge is demolished in the way.
Well, this is later on.
Yeah.
This is later on. What happens is there were explosives on the truck, and that's how Vin also kept Cooper in line. And so then they're like, all right, this whole platoon is advancing on us. We got to just blow up this bridge. And so he, like the other guy, the one other guy with the glasses that I don't know why, but I guess Sparks was buddies with him too, kind of.
Not really, because they gave him a gun and told him to watch Sparks at one point.
Yeah, and once again, Sparks cared a lot about this for some reason, because Sparks gets to the other group. He's like, "Where's Cooper and them?" And they're like, "Oh, well, they're setting up bombs on the truck." And he's like, "What are you? What?" And he runs back to stop them from blowing up the truck for whatever reason.
Where's Steve? Steve's still at the bridge.
Yeah, and they put a grenade on top of the explosives. This is the only time David Carradine aims his gun at anything, and he blows up the truck underneath the bridge just as the Viet Cong truck is going over at the top of it. And it is a good explosion because it knocks all those other guys back because they were kind of like right behind him, and it knocks their asses off their feet.
It's good.
That's one thing. Like, it's a canon movie, so they're blowing shit up in the ways you want to see shit blow up.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's even like good incidental explosions in the background in some of these scenes. Like when they're fucking around with the Jeep on top of the bridge and they're just randomly firing their bottle rocket missiles at them. There's some decent sized explosions happening behind them.
Yeah.
Like
it's not quite apocalypse now. It's at least like a good doomsday sometime.
Yeah, but it's like clearly the Philippines does not have many ordinances about, blowing shit up in their jungles.
Nope.
At least not in the 80s.
Yeah.
But anyway, they all get out of there because they've blown the bridge up. They've bought themselves some time because the guys can't chase them, even though technically they could just drive down exactly
they could do
where
the
they
same
went.
thing they did.
Yeah. From here, I guess, is where they get to a point where the other bridge is busted, and
wait,
he wants.
Wasn't this just? Yeah, this was.
Sparks wants to jump it.
I just realized this was all a bridge over just a ravine.
Yeah,
There's not even water down there.
There was.
Was there?
Yeah, there was water, and because they're talking about, okay, it's a river, we need to find boats.
Now that's again. I think that's the later. That's the like bigger bridge. That's like over this little thing where they stop and have the rocket war. I'm pretty sure was just a ravine.
Oh, there's
yeah,
water
yeah,
down
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
There was a little bit.
It's
but
not deep
much.
because
Yeah.
the truck could drive
Yeah,
through
I was
it.
gonna say, don't they just like walk? I mean, this is like the
And they're
bridge.
walking
But,
around.
This
but
is like
what
the bridge
they come,
over the river
what they come
Wye.
to later is like just more busted ass bridges, and the guy's like, I can. Of course, Sparks is like, well, I could just ramp it, and you guys can meet me on the other side. And he's like, everyone's like, no, that's stupid, because and clearly he couldn't, because what they show is missing a lot of bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that won't matter.
I think he could have made it.
I think he does later.
I mean, the rest of this movie is based on little kid G.I. Joe physics. I mean, I'm
this
just
is
saying
much,
that,
yeah.
like,
Very
you know,
true.
so
Yeah. So some of them go off to basically steal boats from a camp because they see a boat come around. They all hide from it. And then they go in at night to steal their canoes. And this is kind of where the movie just decides to start splintering the fuck all over the place.
Mhm.
Because while they're stealing the boats, Vin shows up, takes one of the POWs hostage, and is like, "Give me the gold. I just want the fucking gold."
right.
And this is when Sparks basically fucks up and lets Vin shoot that dude in the head, and just takes off to get the Jeep and get the fuck out of there with the gold.
Mhm.
He actually ramps it,
Yeah,
makes it.
yeah. This is where
Vin ramps it, makes it.
right, and they start a jeep chase, which then cut to like the next day, and they're basically in like the refugee exodus from like
Yeah.
North Vietnam,
Yeah.
and somehow they're still locked in their high-speed chase with like 50 Bedouins behind them. I'm just saying, like, it's like there's like random like refugees behind them and stuff, and it's just like, how did you maintain, like, you didn't get closer like at any point in time, and you just somehow maintained this distance and a crowd formed around you?
Yeah.
Like
It makes no sense.
yeah, it doesn't. But yes, they were locked in that. But I think because eventually he gets out of that. I think he just ditches. No, he gets out. He ditches the crowd and just
he
drives
ditches
through
the crowd,
jungle.
and he's just gunning it
Yeah.
through the jungle.
He's whipping ass through the jungle and then hits that cliff and just yeah.
Dude, I'll admit I fucking love how this plays out.
I mean, this is like a rundown stunt, like the rundown, but like because they do a jeep like
Yeah.
off a mountain stunt like this kind
Yeah,
of.
this is one of those stunts that I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Like a human being did this. That's not. It should. That's a bad idea, because he goes off this cliff and it's a convertible Jeep, but the guy just flies forward out of it
It's so good.
and just gets launched forward. And I'm like, man, if you fuck this up, you die.
Well, you got to be like, you probably got to have like the accelerator locked in place if you don't have cruise control, like with a brick or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. The what was that thing called? The club.
The club.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be good for like jamming things into place. But
Yeah.
and then you're just standing there like ready to jump. You have to be like just ready to hit that.
Yeah,
and
but
just
like
be,
your
like,
timing
launch
has
it.
to be
I know,
so good.
Sure,
Yeah, I
it's-
mean, and you're only getting one take at this. Like,
yeah.
but it looks awesome
It
when
does.
it happens.
Yeah. But anyway, he gets himself out of that river and just ends up back in a city. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's Saigon or what. I don't think they're in South. I don't know where the hell they are, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's in a city, finds a random sex worker, goes to his room and has a weird like, oh God, the things I've seen, the things I've done.
Yeah.
I can't have sex right now. I'm impotent. Get away from me, bitch. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like, it's so weird. He just has, again, this movie is just so bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
how many tones it's trying to take, because like they clearly, this guy looks like I mean, he looks sort of like a young Don Johnson. He looks kind of like a young Martin Sheen. I mean, at points. I mean, I'm just saying, like it's
His
so
look
weird.
is all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, like in this scene, they clearly look like they were trying to play up the Apocalypse Now Martin Sheen look of him.
He's a good-looking guy. He's got
Yeah.
like very blue eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they take advantage of that in some close-ups.
Yeah, he's just got that like annoying, what I call like George Michael beard, where it's just
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, beards like that are just kind of annoying to me, where it's just like
They're too perfect.
well, they're too perfect and like they're too short, and like I don't know how someone can get their facial hair to be that thick and that short. That's
Yeah.
what I don't understand. Like no one should be able to do that. But that's what my opinion anyway.
It helps to be Greek.
Okay, it does.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean he has the whole thing where he has just flashbacks to stuff we've already seen of him basically getting his friends killed, and then he's like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and then Vin
And-
just like, or he kicks the prostitute out, and then Vin basically catches him like laying in bed,
Yeah,
thinking about everything he's done.
Yeah, just sniffing up syphilis
Yeah.
in there.
Oh yeah,
Syphilis.
Yeah.
he's basically like put his face like right in the wet spot. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
there's no
it's
other way to
bad.
say it.
Yeah,
That entire bed is a wet spot.
I mean, but that right where he put it was like directly like that's
I mean, that bed was crunchy regardless.
Well,
so
sure, yeah.
But either way,
He
Vin
wants to have
Vin,
a crunchy roll.
yeah, Vin comes in and he's just like, "Hey, fucker, where's the gold?"
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, Cooper's got it, man. You can get it from Cooper." Because as he was getting out of the Jeep in the river, he tried to open all the boxes that had all the gold, and none of it was in there.
Yeah,
And so he's like, "God damn it!" So
he did somehow take Teague's crucifix at some point in time
Yes.
though, because he is wearing that.
he got that when he first searched the thing. I
Oh,
think he took
I guess
that.
yeah.
But yeah, so to get away from Vin, he basically defenestrates himself out the window and runs away.
Which is weird because like a second later he's like, "Go and should be doing me a favor," and then he's like, "Okay," click, and then he's like, "Change my mind."
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole planet needs me.
Meanwhile, as all this has been going on, David Carradine has stolen 2 boats and picked up everybody else and like, all right, we're going down the river, man. We're making this happen. And so they're canoeing down the river, and the dorky guy with the glasses is like giving them facts about coconuts. And they're like, "How do you know so much stuff? Why are you so smart?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know how to get dates with girls with big tits." And Steve James has to tell him, "I'll help you find it. I'll make that happen for you when we get back." And to me, I'm going, "Oh no, they're going to kill Steve James."
Right?
Because he's already spoken about getting back home and doing something.
no.
That's not good.
He has made a promise,
Yeah.
given advice. Ugh.
But
No.
it's for somebody else. Does that kill you? I think it's.
I just figured they were both dead.
Well, I feel like if your desire is to get home to do something for yourself, automatic death sentence. But if you're like, when we get home,
But, like-
I will take you fishing.
Fatherly figure, though, you know.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's a recipe
I mean,
for disaster.
I don't know. Like Velma wasn't Batman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The one guy kept losing his. Like, oh no, my glasses. I took to calling him Velma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so they're just they're canoeing down a river. They hit some rapids. They're like, "Oh no!" And then at some point they realize, "Oh fuck, we're gonna go over a waterfall." And
Yeah.
right before it, David Carradine's just like, "We gotta bail!" And so he jumps out. Steve James jumps out, and the guy in the back of the boat's like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Nobody told Chris to bail.
Yeah, nobody told Chris.
That was a joke because there's the actor.
But yeah, he goes down. That guy goes over the waterfall, and then the other group's like, "Oh shit!" And they bail, and that's when Velma loses his glasses. And then they're just like, well, "What about Chris?" And you're like,
Yeah.
he's done."
He's done.
Yeah, and they've been slowly whittling down this group.
Something I didn't realize. It's hard to scream that name, like, in pain and loss. They're just like, Chris.
Yeah, and it's
like,
and
oh, yeah.
and the thing is, you see the guy go over the cliff, and you're like, "Oh man," because the guy's in a boat. They have the guy.
Yeah.
Come out of the boat, and you're like, "Oh, maybe he's fine." And then the other boat comes down the waterfall, and you're like, "Nope, Chris is done."
I think you have to use the full name when you're screaming about it in pain and agony. Christopher.
Maybe.
That works.
Yeah, but so they've been whittling that crew down, and then they just kind of.
Don't they just walk around
he
the
just
corner
picks
and-
up his backpack out of water and is like, "All right, Got to keep moving.
By the way, he one-hands this backpack that is full of gold.
Yeah. Gold's heavy, man.
Yes, it is. It would both rip through the bottom of that backpack and also not be able to be picked up.
No.
But standard movie stuff with gold.
Yeah, of course.
Don't they just like walk around the corner next and just find another 2 guys?
Well, they're
Isn't that
they're walking down the river or whatever, and then they get shot at and duck, and then they basically do like a thunder flash thing, except they're just because they hear something like, "Who is that?" And isn't that what they said in World War II? Is it thunder and flash? Wasn't that their clicks?
I don't
Man,
know.
I do not know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to obscure. It was a way to identify. I'm pretty sure that was what they said between each.
Well, this is Viet fucking Nam. Not
Okay,
World War
well,
II,
I mean,
Harlow.
but the
All
person
the
is
rules
like
are gone.
Velma, the nerdy guy, is like, "Who is the 11th president?" And the guy's like, "Give us something easier."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, all right, you're American. Come on out." And now, so they've restocked some of their men, their disposable
Right.
men now.
Lose
Yeah.
1, add 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these guys are like, "Hey, man, our radio got fucked. These guys are pinned down up there. They're screwed." And they're like, "But you don't want to go up there, man. You're going to be hamburger if you go up there. That's a bad call." And of course, David Carradine, being David Carradine in this movie, is just like, "I'm going to save him. Who's coming with me?" And Steve James is like, "We're not. Like, we got a truck here. We can get the hell out. Those guys are dead anyway. Good luck in your future endeavors." And so he leaves, and then Steve James just kind of gives him the, "I'm sorry, man. Look." Like, he's not being a dick about it. He's just like, "Dude, I'm so close to not dying that I would prefer that."
Yeah,
And so,
he says, "Leave no man behind" is a slogan, not a religion.
Yeah.
Carradine looks at him as like,
for me.
"Nope."
Not for me. I've got a tattooed in Latin on my ass.
Yep. And this is when he goes to find this crew of guys who have been pinned down on this weird hill that's like
It's like
geography. None of the geography of it makes any fucking sense
Not really,
whatsoever, because it's like back to a river. It's just it makes no sense, especially because the path to get to them is behind them, and they had an escape route, but there's just.
It's very confusing.
If you think about it logistically, it makes no sense whatsoever. If you think about it in terms of somebody playing a Call of Duty level on Veteran, then this scene makes way more sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because these guys are pinned down up here. There's dozens of Viet Cong coming to kill them. And David Carradine just comes through and fucking murders all of them.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
I mean, because he just comes from like the side, and they're like, "Well, we weren't looking that way."
Yeah, and he's just no-scoping everybody. He's like, huh.
No scope one shots, just
Yeah, just through the whole damn thing. The first guy he kills, though, he's able to, like, he basically grabs his ankles and yanks him forward into the mud and then stands on his head until he's dead.
Well, except no, then he picks him up and hits him with the butt of his rifle. That's what kills him. It's the melee attack
Oh, really?
in Call of Duty that always insta-kills, yeah.
Yeah, but
it's like an execution.
I mean, and it's an extended scene with a lot going on, but it's just so chaotic, and not in a like, "Oh, this is chaotic on purpose" thing. It's like, no, this is just a lot of scenes thrown together of just David Carradine killing a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, this is where I was saying, like, he'll go like down in a foxhole and then pop out, and there'll be 7 guys there, and he's just like, and they all go down, and he's fine. You know, just it's very like.
Yeah, and he only
Weird.
runs out of
I-
ammo if there's nobody around.
Yeah, like I said, it's very like, I could just see the Weird Al scene in UHF. Like,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually he gets to the top of the hill and he's just like, where's your team, soldier? Because the guy's like, "Who the fuck are you? Where'd you come from?" And he's like, "I'm Colonel Cooper. I'm doing all this good shit because I'm awesome."
I'm Colonel Cooper. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. He's like, "101st. I'm badass. I'm going to save you." And they're like, he's like, "All right, man, the escape route's that way." And then the guys try to go the escape route. And of course, tons of Viet Cong are there.
Yep.
So they have to come back the other way through everyone that David Carradine has not killed yet. And eventually they're like, fuck, we're running out of ammo. We're pinned down. And that's when Steve James and company, of course, show up in the truck.
The cavalry arrives, and David Carradine pushes the giant gas tank down the hill, and we get an extended sequence of the gas tank rolling down the hill until it explodes, and we're like, hooray, that's a good fireball. And then it explodes again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also rolled over a couple dudes,
Yeah,
too.
it steamrolls a couple
Yeah.
guys along
And-
the way.
Credit to the Foley guys. We got some good squishes.
I think that was me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know that it was actually doing that. I just did it every time.
Oh, did you? Okay. Credit to the
know
in-house
what?
BMFcast
Sorry.
Foley guy.
Yeah.
You have improved our movie experience.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I watched too many Police Academy movies lately.
Yeah, but it blows up, and then it blows up something else, and then there's like just one of those crane shots from way back,
Yep.
and just this entire hill is exploding.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Everything is going up, and we're like, holy shit!
Yeah, it's like flame broiled hill,
Yeah.
not just hamburger hill.
Yeah, and they're just driving through, and all the soldiers, all the Viet Cong are just like, fuck, we're getting out of here. Like, everything blew up. What are we here for? And so they're running out of the way as they just take off in the truck. And they, I guess, have reached their extraction point.
Well, they ride in the truck and they're like, "We're happy we won, and we're gonna acapella some Proud Mary," and
Oh,
then,
yeah,
and,
that's
then
right.
and then they're getting to Bonton or wherever they're going.
Yeah.
Again, I've been watching too much True Blood. I don't know what they actually said. But there's like the VC and Vin are like waiting for them there too. So
It's yet another ambush.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they basically like fight them all until it like becomes like Vin gets down to like where all the people that were like too hurt to be fighting in this are left behind.
well, like everybody gets killed immediately.
Yeah,
in this ambush.
The dudes in the truck, like, they get fucking wrecked. I mean, there are very few dudes left
Yeah.
at the end of this.
But it looks like in the end they all sort of make it out. But the way it looks is that everyone has died. It's very strange.
Yeah. But I mean, dudes are just like falling out of that truck dead.
But Vin gets over to the truck like where the rest of the people are, and like is two-handing grenades with the pins pulled, and it's like, give me my gold or we all die, or at least they all die. And David Carradine. Oh, there was the only scratch that he took in the entire time was jumping out of the truck after they crashed. There was a piece of metal that jutted out, and he cut his arm on the way down. And
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's Chekhov's rusted metal. Holy rusted metal, Batman.
You son of a bitch.
But yes, he's ended up like he grabs Vin like with both hands and like jabs him up against this metal, impaling him. Is able to like grab one grenade, but then one of them drops. And this is when I don't think we even talked about Sparks went into like random U.S. camp and stole the Great Escape motorcycle. I mean, it is literally like the Triumph motorcycle basically from the Great Escape. I mean, it's I'm sure it's like basically standard military issue or whatever, but I mean, it's like
I do like that as he like busts by the U.S. soldiers that are like trying to roadblock things. They're like, "Should we shoot him?" They're like, no, he's going the wrong way anyway.
This was clearly like the we don't give a fuck era of Vietnam because
Yeah.
the place where he stole they were all sitting there drinking buds on the porch.
and playing guitar.
And the one guy was like, they stole your motorcycle. He's like, bummer. And then, they don't do anything. But yeah, he blows through a roadblock, I guess, going back into North Vietnam.
Yeah.
And they're like,
They've all got the-
why the fuck do we care if you want to go that way?
They've got the Vietnam War version of senioritis.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess they were like, if he wants to go that way, sure. I mean, his funeral. I guess he met a girl or something.
Yep. But this is his redemption because he guns the bike and then dives onto the grenade and blows up underneath him.
Yeah. Deja vu.
And the guys are like, huh, damn, it's
Yeah.
you, Sparks. What's left of you?
Well, he earned his name.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah. And he's somehow still alive.
He's alive enough to get a final line out.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, during the whole hill battle, David Carradine made a point to bring down the American flag and take it with him.
Oh God, yeah.
And they then put this flag on top of...
well, not before he was
Sparks.
wearing it throughout most of the final, like, oh no, we're
Yeah.
going to die on this hill moment until the cavalry shows up. And then, then he and Steve James ceremoniously fold the flag up in the back of the truck, and then they unfurl it back to cover
Sparks.
yeah.
And then carry him.
which
him,
they then pick up and try to carry to the...
They carry what's left of
'Cause-
him, I'm sure.
Yeah, because the helicopters land on the end
He
of
probably
the
got
dock.
a little lighter.
Yeah.
Chunks were missing.
Yeah, a little messier though. A little tougher to carry, I would think. Yeah. But the choppers land at the end of the dock. Just a comically long dock.
It's like a jetty, and it's like 100 yards, and they land as far away as humanly possible.
Yeah, because you see a whole bunch of Viet Cong coming down the hill. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you!"
But it's
and
like,
they're not shooting at them. Keep in mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like little kid GI Joe rules again because these guys are like coming at the choppers, and they're like 30 feet away with their guns. Like,
Hey.
we could be shooting, but we're not.
They're not in engagement range for that
I see.
particular.
Yeah.
Don't fire you until you see the whites of the guys.
Yes.
But yeah. So they get off in the choppers, and it's the end of the movie. They fly off, and Steve James gets to live, and so does the guy that he promised to help find boobs.
Yeah. Velma and Steve James are going to go out in the town.
Yeah.
I believe the breasts were of a unique size, something like a.
He said mammary glands the size of Buicks.
Yeah,
That's
Buicks,
it.
yeah.
Which that woman would have back problems.
That one would have all sorts of problems,
It depends on the
Should.
size of the woman.
and the Buicks.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know all makes and models. I think Buicks have always been typically fairly large. I don't know if any small Buicks.
There's a
Historically.
couple.
Okay.
There's a couple.
Yeah. Either way, one day he will see them.
That's right.
Thanks
Yeah.
to David Carradine.
He's probably the guy that invented the internet. We know it's from DARPA. It's
about the
already
right
military.
Yeah.
He was like, I need to see boobs, and he was like, I've got an idea.
Yep.
Hey Al, come on, let's go do this.
We're gonna figure out how to connect people who want to see boobs the size of Buicks with people who will draw boobs the size of Buicks.
alt.buick.boobies.com.
Yeah.
All right, there's no .com at the end of alt,
No,
but
right.
I fucked that up.
But he immediately hit the news groups.
Yeah. Anyway,
Steve James says something like, "Man, I didn't think we were going to make it," and David Carradine says, "You know what? Neither did I."
cue what should be the Lee Greenwood song as they're flying away, but they couldn't afford it.
Yep.
They blew that on what it was, Delta Force 2 or whatever it was, missing action. Or I guess that was missing action, Delta Force 2. I think that's what it's
I
called.
think it was. Yeah. No Stargrove or anything. Apparently, almost all the entire soundtrack is recycled from other canon movies,
Great.
and it's all that kind of electronic drum.
Random electronic crap.
Not really synthy, but more just like clearly electronic drum sound
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
And then the song that plays over the end credits sounds like the music that you would hear like on a level of Double Dragon or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the same
Music-
fonts from the end credits, too.
Yeah. Music doesn't really fit the.
No, it does not fit Vietnam. I mean, the closest
Yeah,
you
it
get
does
is
not fit
the
Vietnam.
acapella Proud Mary, so there's your
Yeah.
credence.
Yep.
Lend some credence to this entire movie.
Yeah. But man, this is like, to me, this is just the definition of a Two Jocks movie. Where it's like, yeah, some shit blew up. Some dudes did cool stuff. It had Steve James, but there's nothing that elevates this. And there's like 3 stories going on at one point, and you're just like, oh, this isn't, none of this is working. Like,
This is like Lisa Loeb in 9 stories.
yeah. Like but it's still kind of like, you know what? I wasn't mad at it. I didn't hate it. But I don't ever see myself watching this again. But I'd be like, you know what? If someone's like, yeah, man, I'm going to watch P.O.W. The Escape. I'm like, I hope you have a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, don't do that. You know, it's like, it's just kind of like,
It's
sure.
like, do you not have a copy of Rambo 2?
Yeah.
I would just say, have you seen all the other Steve James movies?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then like, okay,
Yeah. But there are better options than this.
there are.
But it's, it's Two Jocks. It's not terrible, but it's not good.
I'm right there with you. I can't find anything to be really excited about with this.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good explosions,
it's just
but
competent enough.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Is like I need more incompetence.
Yeah, they. That's the thing. Yeah, they have all these stories. They manage to wrap them up, not like super well. It doesn't. The pacing isn't good. It doesn't flow nicely, but they manage to wrap them up. Nothing is horrible. Nothing is great either. It's just it's very mediocre.
Yeah, and to think about like your good, the bad, and the ugly thing, like they even have like the whole Confederate war scene in that chunk of the movie where it's suddenly like, here we're in this other thing that's not really related to any of the other shit, but guys are here. Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and let's make it Universal 2s.
Trip 2s.
Yeah, I mean it's slightly better than what I would call a One Jocks movie just from the size of the explosions, but my God, as you said, the script is just shitty. I mean, it's shitty. There's no other way to put it, really. It's not. With all the same things you have in place, you could have made a better movie. All the same people, all the same locations, just a better script, and the same amount of TNT and gasoline.
Yeah,
to blow things up.
Because it feels like all 4 people had a say in what the final version was like, and you needed one person who was just like, nope, here's what we're doing.
See, this is the problem with, like, quote-unquote named marquee people. David Carradine seems like he barely gives a shit about being in this movie. James should be the fucking hero here because he is all in, like he is all in on every fucking movie he's in.
But also, he's kind of wasted in this.
He's absolutely wasted because he should have just been Cooper, which also, by the way, if, like... I mean, look, this is so pedantic, but, like, if you're like naming your characters, like, do a little etymology, because to me, like, when I hear Cooper, all I think is, like, English. It's like, this is a guy that keeps chickens, and this is not the guy
a Cooper is not a guy who keeps chickens. A Cooper is a guy who makes barrels.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, okay, it's still not a very heroic name, but I mean, I'm just saying, like...
To me, a fan of the whiskey.
Okay.
Kind of a hero.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is why things like Mason, like, these are why, like, names that are like, yeah, fucking bricks are tough.
Knightsbridge.
Anyway, I'm just saying, it's like, these are things, like, it's not a very good hero name to me, really. And I'm not saying anything bad about Coopers out there. I'm just saying it's like, it's not like, oh, shit, yeah, Cooper. Like,
well, you got Hanging With...
Lee Johnson is a better fucking hero name.
Yes, absolutely. You got Hanging With Mr. Yeah. You got DB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
No, I don't know. Lost touch with him.
He became Don Draper in Mad Men.
Sorry, so I just wanted to run with
It was
the joke.
actually a theory people had at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's fine.
I meant whatever happened to Mr. Cooper.
Oh, Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
The one everyone was hanging with?
Yeah.
He's still out there doing stand-up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good for
I
him.
don't give a shit about D.B. Cooper.
Yeah.
That was whatever happened to
I
Mr.
saw
Cooper.
him do a set at the Comedy Store.
Nice.
Yeah, that was weird.
Is that Mark Curry? Is that his name?
Yeah.
It is.
He's very funny.
Okay.
No
Is he
relation
spicy?
to Steph.
A little bit.
Comes in different flavors.
Yeah, do we have anything else to say about this? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's
Fenestration is the only
it is a boilerplate
tag
thing. Yeah. I mean,
it's a movie you can watch. Oh, no,
Sparks sucks. As we said, I don't think that guy ever did anything else.
Nope.
No, TV shit.
Okay.
Yeah, no movies.
I mean, he's got a pretty enough face. I'm sure he did some catalog work or something somewhere. I'm sure he's fine. But yeah, I'm just saying.
Honestly, I think he should have done more. He had a good look.
Yeah.
Like, especially in that, I hate to say he had a good look in the brothel scene, but, that's a face you could put on a movie poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse knockoff hero faces. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, he's as, a charismatic a dude as, like, Barry Bostwick or anyone else. I'm just saying, like, I can make him a hero dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to get in touch with us, I'm not segueing. If you want to get in touch with us about what we've seen or anything we should see or anything you think we should know about, please email us, bmf@bmfcast.com, or give us a call on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. I didn't accidentally give my own phone number this time. I'm proud of myself. You can just go check out the website, which is bmfcast.com, or look on our Twitter. It's still Twitter to me, damn it. For
the
a link.
Twitter.
Yeah, X-Twitter. Look for a link to our Discord. We hang out in there a lot, and we would love to hear from you there as well. There's a bunch of good folks in there that talk about a bunch of fun things. And if you have a couple spare bucks and you don't know what to do with it, go ahead and whip those our way via patreon.com/BMFcast. That's where we collect money to keep the lights on, as it were. We pay some hosting bills. We just pay to another one.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Another one.
They keep happening as we keep existing.
right.
Mm.
You know, it pays for all our shit so that we can keep doing this. So throw us a couple bucks if you can. If not, whatever. Tell a friend about us. That'll help us feel better about ourselves.
You do you. We're not going to infringe on your liberties.
We will not. Yeah. That's all I got.
Cool.
All right, well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Okie
Nice.
dokie.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ, and this is BMFcast out. Bye, motherfuckers.
Toodles.
Down, 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 down.
The recording has been stopped. However, we are still online.
Good night, Supreme Admiral Robert Connolly.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Hello, Blurgent Kyle.
What's a blurgent?
I said real or imaginary, and he went imaginary.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a blue sergeant.
Oh. Or he's like a really fast sergeant.
Sergeant. Instead of a staff sergeant, it's a fast sergeant.
Man. I had
Yeah.
to plug my computer in. I had
I see that.
drained the battery.
Oh, no.
It was at 10% energy.
I'm glad you have discovered that you have Touch ID on your Apple computer.
My life's a lot better now.
Did you not realize it had the touch thingy?
I didn't realize I had the
Okay.
Touch ID.
It doesn't tell you anything about it until you go discover it.
Oh.
Yeah, until you turn it on in settings.
Like there's not a little light or anything or
Is
an
it,
arrow.
Is it the power button still? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was unaware.
Okay.
And it's funny because, like, typing in my password, I'll do that, and then it'll be like, all right, thinking about it. You know, it'll take, like, a good 15, 20 seconds to actually
Yep.
unlock.
But Touch ID, it's just
Touch
like,
ID,
you're
it's like-
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the only one I ever had that had the touch ID was the one that had the bar. So I mean, when it wanted you to use it, it actually had things light
okay.
up around it. Or like touch here.
This
Okay,
does.
so unless
but
you enable it,
it will not.
It doesn't give you the little arrow that says touch here to
Okay.
because mine has the bar as well.
Yeah, this has the bar as well.
Do
I don't
they all
like
have the
them.
bar now? I thought they did away with
I
it.
think
all
only
feature
the
bar.
Airs.
I was only
Oh,
But
I
this
thought
is
it
a
was the Pro.
2019, so.
Yeah, I mean the Pro is the only one I ever had that had the bar.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is a Pro.
Mine is not
I'm
a
sorry.
Pro. And
Yeah,
it
the
has,
Air is like low end now. Well, MacBook. I think Air is like sandwiched in the middle. Like MacBook's the low, Air, and then Pro.
Yeah.
I don't think mine is a Pro, and I have the bar. I
mean,
almost
the
like
newer
Maybe they
ones
put it on the
might.
other ones. Yeah, maybe they put it on more.
Yeah,
I thought they
because
just did away with it all.
Once
'cause-
again, this is a 2019.
Yeah, I
so-
just thought they were like, no one cared about that. It cost us too much. Why bother?
I almost like the bar. It is
It's
almost
fine,
good.
yeah. I mean, my favorite was just like, if nothing else, the emojis. Like, you know, being able to program in your emojis and like,
Yeah.
because little ones like, I want the copyright symbol, I want the trademark symbol, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like have it right there all the time.
If I could tell it what I wanted on the bar all the time,
You can in some instances.
in some instances, I want it. I
Yeah,
want it
all
to.
the time.
I want it to be a doc of things that I want there. Like I always want this, this, and this, and this, and it won't let me.
So I guess I didn't realize the new iPhones now are going USB-C now. So
They just announced it
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's a Euro thing.
Hmm?
Like European Union required it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like, your connector size.
I know our iPad has had USB-C for
Yeah,
a while.
I mean, that's the
I
thing,
think
is,
that's
like,
a couple of years old. now.
I'm anxious to get there. I just hate the in between.
I know.
Like it's like, you know, the accessories and plugs and, you know, what things.
I mean,
work with
how
it.
many accessories do you really use these days, right?
Well, I mean,
Like accessories, I feel like used to be a bigger thing. Everything's wireless now, except for charging.
yeah, I mean,
even charging
the
is
car. You know, the car wouldn't be a problem. It'd just be a different cable. But like, I've got a little dock that I plug in every day.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, I don't. I do wireless charging now. I only use the dock now for my iPad now. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I bought a little wireless thing that can do my phone and the watch at the same
I wish my
time.
car had a USB-C port.
It doesn't. I mean,
It's
it
so
doesn't.
much faster.
I mean, mine doesn't have a USB-C port. It's got
USB A.
A that you can
Yeah.
you know put whatever cable on.
Yeah, it
But
just
yeah,
doesn't.
no, the new ones actually have C on the input.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like C to C.
I finally changed out
Yeah,
all
some
of
of
my.
a lot of our accessories we sell now have the C built into it.
Yeah. I finally changed out all of my charging stuff, like my couch charging cable, or my couch charging brick, and my bedside charging brick. They're all USB-C with power delivery now. It's so fucking nice.
And it's so fast.
I plug my phone in. I'm
That's
like,
the one thing it doesn't have. The new iPhone even does not have fast charging, even with the fucking USB-C.
Oh, really?
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, so stupid.
Really?
Whoever decided that. Oh,
And the crazy thing
Jesus
is like only the what is it, the Pro Max? Or,
But all the Mac
because
big power bricks support PD.
oh they do, but the phones don't. I'm just saying like the phones do not in this iteration.
What
yet.
an asshole!
But and the other crazy thing is like even though they're all USB-C, only the Pro, which I guess is because it's like 2 camera or 3 camera. Only the Pro ones actually have a USB 3 throughput in it, like inside.
Yeah, for
So
data
the-
transfer.
yeah, for data
like,
transfer.
I mean, who uses data
I mean,
transfer
I
on
guess
a phone? But
they were like, okay, if you're buying a Pro, you're probably going to be dumping raw video and stuff, and you might want this fast transfer. So,
yeah.
but
I just know my watch, if it's not plugged into a USB-C, it does not charge. Like, it'll take hours and hours, whereas the USB-C, the fast charge, it'll be done in like 40 minutes from dead to a full charge.
on the
Wait,
watch, I don't know. They didn't know a watch supported fast charge. I mean, I don't know what iteration.
This is
Maybe it's
whatever
just
was 2 years ago.
your wireless, your watch charger is able to draw more.
No, trust me.
I've
I've messed with it with the kind of dock where you rest.
Well, no,
on
I
the
mean,
dock.
I just mean that like the regular A, like USB A or whatever.
That's when it'll take
Yeah.
like seriously like hours. Like I would have to charge it overnight to get a full charge. Whereas otherwise I can put it on the charger while I'm in the shower and it's basically full when I get out.
Does yours tell you your O2 blood O2 level? Your watch?
I think so.
Yeah, because I mean that's one of the cutoffs. Because like mine, I can do the ECG or EKG, whatever that is.
ECG.
Yeah, but it doesn't do the blood oxygen. Doesn't have that sensor. The one after it had that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Which
I just I know I bought mine's the first one that had the ECG thing functionality.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't bring myself to buy a smartwatch still, because I don't wear a watch.
Yeah, I
I
like it a lot.
I had stopped wearing a watch until this came out.
I just know it's going to annoy me, and I'm going to take it off one day, and I'm going to be like, oh, cool, where there's $300 that I wasted money on, because half my day I can't wear it, because I didn't, like, whenever I'm wearing a watch and working, like, having something on my wrist, for one, it scratches up whatever I'm, wherever my wrist is.
That's why I've got, I mean, this is like super soft case, that's why I use
But
it.
the second thing is, it just annoys, like, the inside of my wrist wherever I have pressure.
I guess these ones don't. I mean, like, I have this soft Velcro band or whatever. It's just anything metal would, but these don't. I've always liked
Let me hold that.
Like I always had remember shark watches?
Yeah.
The diving ones. I always wore those because of the soft bands like this. So I didn't give a shit about diving. I just liked the soft bands and the fact that they were super waterproof and stuff.
This is very, very light.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing and the band is very light. It's crazy how much difference just the band can make. Cause
Oh yeah, that's a no-go.
my
That's a no-go. I put my wrist down for half a second, and I was like, nope, this ain't it, Chief.
yeah, no, my stepdad has a metal like the Milanese loop one, and it's just like that thing's so much heavier.
It is.
Maybe if it didn't go like
Double up. Yeah,
underneath my wrist like that, but
they have different styles.
Yeah, I had a Fitbit, Kyle.
this is
before
light.
I got this one.
This is
I
very
liked
light.
it.
Yeah, the Fitbits are fun.
I'm just playing with it. It's a toy.
Oh. I mean, you know the code if you want to unlock it.
I do know the code.
Yeah.
You cracked the code.
Yeah.
It's the same code.
Same code as the front door. Makes
I'm
sense.
a simple man. My life is not hard to crack. You just have to know me, like Plato.
Nice. 74 beats per minute. I'm not dead. That's a little bit high for a resting heart rate, but
Yeah, I have a high.
it's also not that bad. I do need a smart pocket watch, Kyle. That would be dope as shit. I was about to say if if they made one that just like attached to the top of my wrist somehow,
Maybe you could get like a metal plate in your hand.
Yeah.
It just snaps on.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Maybe we could also just like charge. I mean, I feel like we aren't. I mean, the Matrix. I feel like lied to us 24 years ago.
Oh, it heavily
like
did.
I
We'd
was like,
never,
why aren't we using our bio power to power things? Like I want to. Like, why can't I just put my phone in my pocket and have it charged from all the heat and shit that my body's doing, or the gastrointestinal shit that's like, why can't I like have hydrodynamic power in my stomach?
Oh, because your poop would never come out. That's why.
Oh. Well, no, it just has to pass through a rotor that makes power out of it too. So
Yeah, but it would slow it down enough that it would back you up and die.
Pooperator.
Yeah.
all right, we'll leave that out. But I mean, I should have at least like thermoelectric.
Well, there was stuff like I think there was some scientist or company working on basically like piezoelectric clothing where when you moved it would generate small amounts of power, and I was like, that's a fucking great idea. I could just wear like my shirt or my pants would charge my phone, not by much, but I'm walking anyway, moving around, might as well take advantage of that available power. All that stuff, those little tiny incremental increases.
Yeah, we need to get battery tech that's smart enough that it won't flip out with a little tiny, like microcharging or max, like
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, I think current battery tech would be okay. It's just like it's not worth it, A, to most people, and B, to sell to most people. So never gonna happen. But see, the other thing, Kyle, is this already is a smart pocket watch.
Kind of is. Yeah. Yeah.
If I wore a waistcoat daily, then a smart pocket watch would be cool as shit. I would totally get one.
So, weird little side thing, only because I was just talking about this, and most people don't notice this in this movie. But the movie It Follows is ostensibly just a little horror movie, an STD horror movie, even though that's what the director says. It's not about that at all. But whatever,
You mean sexually transmitted disease?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of like the premise is like, that's how this horror is passed.
Oh, okay.
But the weird little subtle
sucking.
thing about the movie is that it's in the future, and like it's so like, or like in a alternate reality type of thing, because they have like funky tech in it, and because like they have like this like weird like clamshell looking phones and stuff, and just like funky little like things that we don't have. There's just like weird little touches like that in the movie that just makes it like ever so slightly strange, where like everyone's working. I mean, almost everyone has these like they almost look like compacts, or but they almost they look like
That's the Samsung Galaxy Fold, don't you know?
But I mean, they actually look like like clams, or they're like weird little like art pieces and stuff. But it's just like it's a little subtle thing that's just in the background of like what's going on here. Like,
Yeah. We used to have variety in our phones. Now we all have black rectangles that we look at for 9 hours a day.
I feel like I could do an entire podcast trying to figure out what the fuck his other movie. Well, he's got 3 movies. The guy that made It Follows, but the first one is like kind of just a teen comedy thing, coming of age thing. It's very generic. Then it follows, and then I watched Under the Silver Lake, and holy shit, Under the Silver Lake. That's a hell of a weird thing.
Okay.
Like it's one of those movies I didn't know what I was expecting, because the title sounds almost like a romance. I mean, but it's like it's got Andrew Garfield in it, and it's just fucking weird. Like, dude lives in LA, but again, it's like this guy seems to make a living out of like making everything just feel slightly off, because it's like he lives in LA, but whenever they want it to, it can just be like a full-blown jungle where he lives in the middle of nowhere. Because he'll just go walking, and it's like suddenly you're like in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's like, I don't think that happens in LA, really. But the whole thing, it's like he meets a girl, and it like kind of like has like one really good date night with her, and then she disappears, and he goes on a quest to like figure out what the fuck happened to her, and it's a weird ass movie. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not necessarily saying I would suggest it, but I don't. It's one of those movies where I'm like, I don't know how to classify this. I don't know how to write a review about this. I don't know what you would call this. It's bizarre.
Yeah. You said it's Under the Silver Lake?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that sounds familiar, and it's because that's a neighborhood in Los Angeles
Okay.
where my favorite ramen restaurant resides.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is based on that area. But maybe there is some, like, wildernessy areas around there, but I just feel like
It goes straight jungle.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he'll just go, like, traipse out in the woods. I'm like, I don't think there's that much woods. Like, you're way out in the middle of nowhere.
It's kind of like it's not in the center of LA, but it's close enough that there's not just like random woods.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Silver Lake Ramen. You're the best. I love you. If you're in LA, Silver Lake Ramen.
Also, it's got Riley Keough in it.
Ooh, Riley Keough.
Yeah, Elvis's granddaughter.
Is she
Yep.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is.
Good for her.
I guess, does that mean she's Priscilla's daughter, or is that's who Elvis was married to his entire life, right? He didn't divorce her, right? Yeah. So I guess she'd have to be Priscilla's daughter. Yes.
Wait, so that would make
No.
that would make Priscilla's daughter or son would be her parent.
Elvis's,
Because she was born in
granddaughter,
1989.
right. Granddaughter. Yes. Okay. So you're right. Yes. Yeah. That would be daughter if it was Priscilla's daughter. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand how
I
yes.
don't know the lineage of the Presley
Right.
family, the king's lineage. All I know is the man died with 10 pounds of shit in him
I did watch that movie all the way
on
through
a
though.
goddamn
Finally,
toilet.
I will too.
I did finally watch Elvis all the way through though.
Yeah,
The Baz Luhrmann thing.
yeah. Is another Baz Luhrmann movie.
It's less Baz Luhrmann-y than other Baz Luhrmann movies have been.
Hey,
for
that's a
damn
good thing.
sure. But and that it's much more connected or not quite as frenetic. I would say is the main thing. I mean, it has a pace, but it's just so weird. There's a point. There's almost like a uncanny valley threshold, but it's not the uncanny valley where it's like, do you go for talent and put them in so much stuff that it makes them not look like the person, and thus go, why did you hire them? You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, like Tom Hanks in that is just weird. It's like it's like they put him in a weird fat suit, but he just sounds like Tom Hanks, and it's bizarre. Like there's other cases where it's like, if I didn't know Colin Farrell was in the Batman, I wouldn't know Colin Farrell was in the Batman. Like,
Right.
yeah, I still wouldn't know that was him to this day if I didn't know that from the cast list.
Yeah.
But whereas like, okay, that's that's committing to a makeup and part or whatever. And this was just like, you're just weird, fat, baldy Tom Hanks. This is weird. And also, why bad casting choice for Colonel Tom Parker. Like, let's cast one of America's nicest people to be Colonel Tom Parker.
Be the bad guy.
It's a little weird.
Elvis.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
Especially when there's other people that like would look more like him and probably be more like him.
Yeah. So Elvis only had one official child, which was Lisa Marie.
Okay.
Lisa Marie had 4 children. Riley Keough, Ben Keough, and then some others.
Remember when she married Michael Jackson for no reason?
I do.
That was weird.
By the way, Lisa Marie's first marriage was at the Scientology Celebrity Center. Jesus Christ.
Fantastic. See, this is the thing. You can wish for fame. You should wish to not be famous by the time you have children. That's the double-edged sword. Keep the money, stop the fame, have kids. Because very rarely does it work out. There are some notable good examples, but
I would just prefer to be super rich and nobody knows who I am.
okay.
That's the perfect situation.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, if like fame is your bag, like what you want, just get out before you have a family. Is all I'm saying. Or raise them right. Like go ask the Hollywood. Like if if you're in that circle, make friends with like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn and like these other people that have like had people that like kids that aren't all fucked up. Like.
Well, just don't let them act.
Well, I mean, they
Ever.
Well, Kate Hudson and Wyatt Russell are both
true.
actors. I'm saying, like, and they seem normal enough.
Wait, Kate Hudson.
Is Goldie Hawn's daughter and Kurt Russell's daughter from American?
Also model?
Kate Hudson. She was in what? Why am I blanking on what's the
Almost
band?
famous.
Almost Famous. Yeah, not
Okay, yeah,
Almost
yeah.
American
Yeah,
Beauty.
that Kate
It's,
Hudson. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Ah. Yeah, the moral of the story is be rich, not famous.
Yep.
Isabella Rossellini. She seems all right.
Isabella Rossellini. Why?
Both her parents were famous. Very.
Yeah, her dad was.
Like, arguably two of the
Her
most
dad
famous
was
people.
Isabella Mussolini.
Right.
And
What
mom
was his first name?
Robert.
I know he's a director, like a super famous Italian director, and then Ingrid Bergman was her mom.
Giancarlo Rossellini. I'm 179th Italian.
I should
can
know
do
this. I think it's something simple like Michael or something.
Look it up on your watch, smart boy.
I'm not gonna. and I don't care that much.
God damn. Harsh.
I also would like my watch to flip out into a larger screen. I think that'd be dope as shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I just how many iWatch or whatever Apple Watches still want to call it the iWatch because I think I just thought that's what it was going to be.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah,
called,
but like how many models are we in now and we still don't have a fucking
like 8.
camera on it? Like why aren't we Dick Tracing with this shit yet? Like why aren't we FaceTiming on our wrist? Like
I think that screen is so small, but I
but
don't think
like
it,
a
I
little
don't think it
tiny
would matter.
little bump right there, just a boop, a little tiny one camera, just a hey, you know, like I don't.
They could make it a millimeter bigger to make.
Yo.
But of course, if they put a camera in it, they're gonna put it in the fucking screen and make a little cutout,
Probably, but
which I think is still a great sin that has been foisted upon us by all manufacturers. Minus I'd like at least with my phone, it's just like one tiny little dot. That's it. I've learned to look around it. I did not think I would, but
There's so many things I'd forgotten that Steve James was in.
like Mantis. Did you forget about Mantis?
I did. Like The Player. Forgot he's in The Player.
like Robert Altman's the player.
Yeah.
Okay.
To Live and Die in L.A. Forgot he's in that. I mean, a lot of these are probably like, all right, he was uncredited, you know, but still, Hollywood Shuffle, Brother from Another Planet.
Mackie, Kyle would like to know if you had a good bidet.
Like is your ass all washed?
Day of your birth.
Oh.
I did. I had to work that day, but otherwise it was good.
You had your birthday old fashioned
I did at BB's.
at the Bees.
The place is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The place is very good. We had
In
fried
what?
Brussels sprouts.
What in
which
San
were
San
fucking
Marco?
amazing.
Or Hendrix BB's? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. The Biscotti's place or
Yep.
their other place.
When Brussels sprouts are crispy, they're amazing.
Yeah, and it had like it was like there was like a hot sauce on them, kind of.
Ooh, nice.
But it was also there was like some kind of creamy sauce mixed with it. Man, it was fucking it like, and I swear to God, it to me it tasted a little peanutish, and I'm surprised
Okay.
Jen liked it, but it was like super good.
I have a recipe for what they call warm honey glazed crispy Brussels sprouts. It's fucking good. It's from Bone Apple Teeth. But
Yeah. Jen has
bone
some,
apple teeth.
yeah, Bon Appetit.
Jen had some potato salad she found that is just like the best fucking thing on earth.
Nice.
And it was just one of those random recipes she found online, but it's got like white pepper in it.
Oh, that's why you have the white pepper in your cabinet. Yeah.
Oh, you were going through my spices?
Hell yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we just talked about it when
Yeah.
the door got open. But
But yeah, we got it's got white pepper in it, and I usually don't do onions, but like it's got diced onions in it, and they're just like they mixed in perfectly. And
yeah, when I was still watching Bon Appetit before Condé Nast, like it was discovered that they were just treating everybody on their YouTube channel like absolute shit, except for like one person,
yeah,
Claire.
Claire.
They had a like, we're gonna do semi non-traditional Thanksgiving stuff, and one of the sides was that warm, and by warm they mean spicy honey glazed Brussels sprouts. I was like, oh, those look fucking good. I'm gonna note that for
And
later.
they were?
And I made them. Yeah, I made them a few years ago, and they were fucking incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I've made Brussels sprouts once. That was it. They were amazing. I'm afraid to make them again.
Yeah, and they'll stink up your house if you do it wrong.
A little bit.
And that's not pleasant.
Yeah. But.
We've been watching a lot of Struggle Meals
Oh, yeah?
on Taste Made. That guy's great. That guy's one of my favorites.
I don't watch enough Food Network to know what that guy is. But
He's not on Food Network.
Oh.
He's on Taste Made.
Oh. Which is like Food Network on another channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Food Network, except with the same 4 commercials.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So like Food Network
No, Food Network's got a decent variety, but there's like
of commercials.
there's the Samuel L. Jackson, Heroes Don't Take the Stairs credit card commercial. There's
I'm so glad I have no idea
a
what that is.
Coke one where they go game night, and then they're like playing like Pictionary, and they're drinking Coke. And what are the other? There's
Whopper,
one for
Whopper,
ABC.
Whopper. That's one I
There's
know.
a Good Morning America one that there's a song they use, this fucking pop song that just it gets stuck in my head and I hate it. But yeah, I enjoy the Whopper ones just because like that was one of the few good uses of AI was when people were just making him say dumb shit. He's like, "No, this burger, you can fuck the burger. We'll pay you to fuck the burger." And yeah,
the absurdity. So I go watch the football games, the Jacksonville Jaguars,
sorry.
at the bar around the corner. There's a group of us. It's fun, but last year the fucking Whopper commercial got into our brains like a stupid worm, and we were talking about it the week before the game. And we're like, is the Whopper commercial going to be back? Are we going to have to deal with these fucking Whopper commercials for another year? And like the second commercial during the game was the fucking Whopper commercial, and we all erupted.
I literally don't even know what this is, and I guess
Good.
I'm glad. I'm
Good.
It's-
Don't know it. It's
What's
terrible.
And the thing is too is it's like
It's
not
like half out of tune as
and
well.
it's not Craig Robinson, but it's a dude like trying to sound like Craig Robinson, and that's probably what makes it worse because they probably pitched it to Craig Robinson. He's like, "Nah, man, I don't like Burger King."
But even like Craig Robinson, when he's not in like a scripted television like area or like
Yeah.
sphere, whatever, I don't know, I'm losing my words, but when he's not doing something like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or The Office,
Yeah,
I hate him. I hate like any of this stuff like where he's in a commercial, because commercials are inherently cringe, as the kids would say, and it's just like, oh, okay, no commercial writer, nobody in marketing is as funny as anybody in a Hollywood writer's room.
What's his? Oh my God! What's his first name in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I know it's Judy, but Doug?
Doug Judy.
Yeah, Doug Judy, the Pontiac Bandit.
Yeah.
And then Trudy Judy, his sister. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I forgot to turn my light on this entire time.
how did anyone see you?
What?
I don't know. I was hidden the
I
whole
didn't
time.
check. I blame Texas.
You. I blame you. Wait, did you say taxes?
Texas.
Oh, that too.
I think I accidentally pushed yours because you're like off to the side.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh.
see if that is.
See, I didn't really even look at this stuff. I just went. I was like, we're going live. Fuck it.
I'm centering you. Hang on. It's behind a little bit. There we go. There we go. I think now you're in the center. Because
Anyway,
you're sitting
time
where
to
you
go.
normally sit. Time to get out of here.
Now that we're all centered.
Oh, so
Time to go.
one last weird little thing. So I've been making my
No.
way through the Police Academy movies, and do you
Yeah.
ever like do that where you're watching a semi-old movie and you're like, oh hey, look, person in bit part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
So
time.
Police Academy 6 had 2, and like I questioned both of them for half a second, because I was like, no, why? One of them was Dean Norris from Breaking Bad, is like
Oh, yeah.
literally in it for like half a second. He's like in like a cop in the locker room. I think he has like,
Is he still Dean Norris shaped?
yeah, I mean, he has. I think
That was
he,
like
I
20
think
years
maybe
ago,
he has
25
like
years ago.
hair or some hair, but like yeah, he gets like half a line, like jiving on somebody. But then like then the other one was like the weirdest thing where I was like, wait, is that? And then there's a part where they what do they do that? What do they call when they requisition or take over
Commandeer.
commandeer? They commandeer a city bus, but the dumbass keeps picking up people on the route anyway while they're in the middle of a police or chase, and then like they get in a shootout and all this crazy stuff happens. And like when the people are getting off the bus, this one little girl stops and is like, "You're much better than the regular bus driver." And it's like I swear to God, it was the weirdest thing because she's like 6, but has the same face. I went, "Oh my God, it's the weirdo from Smallville." Because it was the one who went to jail for the cult thing and all that shit.
Ah.
Yeah, but I just immediately was like, "Holy shit, that's her!" And I looked up, it was funny.
Nice.
Yeah, Allison Mack, that's her name. She's the one that was all tied up in the sex cult thing. Went to jail. Went to the college admissions jail, the cushy jail where all those people were.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Where
Well-
the people who could afford to break the law go.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of
Yeah.
the BMFcast.
Yes.
Hey.
Diamond
On
cutters
Fox.
all around.
Thank you for your service, all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your fake service.
Yes.
With all your fake titles.
This is
Salute your shorts. So let's
Yeah.
count them off. Supreme
is-
Admiral Robert Connolly,
This is
Eh.
Lieutenant Viceroy Harlow here.
Blurgent Kyle,
Blurgent. What the fuck?
Grand Vizier Mackie,
That's me.
and whatever the hell I decided mine was. I've already forgotten.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Infernal Commander BJ.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
It's hellish.
Yep.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Toodles, internet.
Let's get
Later.
the hell out of here.